Welcome to another MyBottleShop.com video review.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's Rock the Viking and Marcus the Calabrian.
Ciao. Ciao.
Today we will be reviewing Starward Australian Whisky, and we will be opening and tasting Starward Tawny Whisky, limited edition, and just reviewing about the Starward Australian Whisky. So join us in a minute for a full review of Australian Whisky. Okay, welcome back, Marcus. Today we're going to go over Starward Whisky, Australian whisky made down in Melbourne.
Yes.
And we've got a few different bottles here from their range.
That's right. Quite popular here in Australia too.
It is.
Yeah, and I believe you're an avid collector, aren't you?
I am.
It's one of your favourites.
And just in a minute later, we'll be just cutting over to the MyBottleShop.com.
Oh, you even get a sneak peek
at
the
big collection
of
Starward whiskies.
For a treat.
That's right. And so Starward is one of the, I guess, pioneers, you might say, of the Australian whisky movement. And their claim to fame was doing Australian single malt whiskies aged in wine barrels.
Yes.
Right. And this was the original one, which now they call Nova. But originally it was, Australian single malt aged in wine casks.
Yep.
Now, you know a little bit about how they do the wine barrels, don't you?
Yeah, Marcus? That's correct. So instead of, I guess, the finish, as a lot of other whiskies that you guys may know about or like to drink, finish in different wine barrels, this is actually part of the maturing process. So,
right.
It's all, they basically start the process and mature it for a good portion in all Australian and the local Melbourne, because it is from Melbourne, right? Local Melbourne wineries.
Yep, just...
yeah, so you've been to Melbourne, haven't you?
That's right. Well, originally they were down near Essendon, near the airport, and I know just at the moment they're doing some renovations down there. And now they've been bought out by Diageo, or Diageo's invested in, which is a big global liquor company, right? Famous for Johnny Walker and Smirnoff and some other brands. So, so these guys have been going for a few years now. And now, tell us how, or what makes this Australian whisky famous about the wine cask?
I asked you if you've been in Melbourne. Obviously you have. What about the weather? You know about the weather.
Yeah, it's crap.
Well, that's
crap, right?
Obviously, if you have been in Melbourne, you know the weather is a bit up and down. But that's where they do say that the distinct wine flavours from those barrels, when it's maturing, comes out, because weather's so crazy over there. It's up and down all the time. I don't know. Every time I've been, it's been very cold. Allows the barrels to expand and contract during that maturing process. So those distinct flavours do come from the weather, as they say. But what is interesting is they don't actually re-char them, the barrels. Yeah,
I was surprised to learn that, right?
Yeah. They actually steam them to trap those wine flavours, because it is matured instead of finished in those wine casks. So it is a bit of a different process, and because of that, they do have a bit of a different technique to keep that wine flavour. So I am keen to try.
Well, you see the colour. Like one thing you always know. Every time I look at a bottle of Starward, aside from this is clearly bourbon cask, right? Yeah. But you see here these wine cask whiskies, and this is MyBottleShop.com single malt special barrel we did. They're all got that reddy colour. You see, got that reddy colour, right? Very dark. And this is the original wine, matured in red wine barrels from Australia, so Australian red wine barrels. Yep. And the one we've actually chosen already. We've cracked into this one. This is actually a Tawny Port version.
Right.
So it's the same, I guess wine, wine barrel whiskey flavour, right? Yeah. But what they do with this particular limited edition, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack this, Marcus.
Please.
And got a bit of spray going on there, bit of splashback. Yep. So this is actually the Tawny Port version. So what they do, this is a limited edition bottle actually. It's only a small little bottle, 500ml, but they only do limited runs. Yeah, and Starward in Australia famous for doing all these limited editions. You've got bourbon cask, you've got the wine cask, you've got this one here is a Red Manhattan, which would be like a whiskey cocktail, and then you've got the MyBottleShop version here, which is also wine cask, but it's 48%, and it's from 4 red wine barrels from Barossa Valley. And I understand a lot of the red wine barrels come from the Barossa Valley in South Australia. That's right. And that's what they finish the whiskey off. But this particular one we're tasting today is aged in Australian Tawny Port barrels, and they actually break the barrels. They get Tawny Port from probably the Barossa again, South Australia, and they cut them down into small 100 litre barrels. So they make the wine cask whiskey here, and then they finish it off in 100 litre barrels. So little barrels that have contained port. And by the looks of the colour, you can see it's got a luscious sort of browny colour to it. Now,
compared to some of the other ones.
Now, give us some nose on that, Marcus, and let us know what you think about this one. I'll just actually put this up here so people can see the actual bottle that we're talking about.
Almost smells like a port wine, right?
So I can't wait to get it in my mouth. It's absolutely delicious. To me, this wine, like all the Starwards, it's got that beautiful Christmas pudding almost, isn't it? It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And they say this one here, you have it after dinner. You know, you have a nice dinner, whatever it is, and afterwards you sit down and have a beautiful glass just for an after dinner. Now imagine yourself, you've just had a nice Italian feast.
That's right.
And what do you want to do?
I'd like to down one of these.
Right.
Very good digestive.
Right. It is. Right. Now, you know, the notes that they say about this, like, you know, fig, get nut fig, chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. The dark chocolate.
Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam, cake.
Cake,
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Did you say orange? A little bit of hint of orange in there.
I suppose I do get a bit of hint of orange.
Yeah.
I think it's like such a rich whiskey. You wouldn't sit down and, you know, have a big session on this.
Yeah.
They've really pitched it as like an after dinner.
Yeah. Like you previously said, you know, it's like a dessert
Right.
aperitif. Yeah.
So I get it exactly like that. You want to have it, and you know, obviously this is why they put in this little 500ml bottle, right? So you just have tiny little drams.
Yeah.
And you can see I've actually tucked in a little bit after dinner last couple of nights, just having a little sip of it. You can see it's quite it's got quite a thick consistency, right?
Yeah.
Drips off the glass.
That's right. Very good.
And the notes that they've got on it is fig, nutmeg, and spice.
There you go. It is a bit spicy. Yeah.
It's got a bit of a spice to the finish, hasn't it? Yeah.
Not too crazy, but...
And they're saying here it's a limited release single malt, fully matured in Australian fortified wine barrels. Our expertly chosen combination of fresh and charred barrels creates an irresistible complex flavour. It's a beautiful balance of vibrant fresh fruit and toasted oak. So
I do agree with that. That's safe to say.
Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to cut over and show you our highlighted collection of Starward whiskies.
Yep.
Now, Marcus, give us a run through of what we got there. On the wall here.
Too many bottles.
Right.
Too many bottles.
And you'll see a lot of the bottles have that white label on the bottles. Now, they're project whiskies.
They're the special releases.
That's
aren't they?
right. Yeah. So Starward have done a lot of these special release bottles. And they probably release, you know, maybe 2 a year. And they've probably been doing that for the last probably 5 years.
Yep.
So there's probably 10 to 15 of these special releases. Some of them you'll see have been released for bars,
Right.
as well. So bars.
How the hell did you get it?
Yeah. Well, by making a visit to a few of the bars, and they actually had the bottles for sale. So you go into the bar, but they do tiny runs. They do like 100 bottles.
Yeah. Okay.
And just coming back here to MyBottleShop Central. You can see here this particular project or limited edition barrel done by Starward. This is one done for MyBottleShop.com. That's only a 6-bottle run that they did for us there. It's a 48%.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. And that's the red wine barrels from the Barossa Valley. And it's got big jammy and red fruit flavours. And you can see that in the colour.
Fruity of that one, huh?
Yeah, and you get the fruit flavour in this.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Starward. We could probably spend the next 3 hours reviewing all the different bottles.
Because there is a lot, as you guys could just seen. But, you know, thank you once again. And remember, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll be pumping out a lot more videos.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be back soon. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.